Hi, Darren.
Hi, Amy. How are you?
Good. Today, I was hoping we can talk about inventory. I know you're getting a lot of calls from members who are sort of reevaluating their mix and thinking more about retail and inventory. Um, First, I want to talk about what you think they should order for the fall.
So very quickly to reiterate your point,
Yep.
getting a lot of phone calls, emails about inventory productivity and product mixes, since what's been going on with COVID-19. As far as ordering, unfortunately, if members haven't already ordered their summer drive products,
Right.
in many cases, they're going to be behind the eight ball. Certainly, they need to be focusing on um, let's say like Igloo quart coolers or Yeti quart coolers, or another big brand is Orca, American made company. So coolers, cases of water, potentially umbrellas if they're in an area where there's walking trails, potentially chairs for folks that are hitting the road with the RVs. And again, if this product is not already in their stores, again, they're just going to be losing lots of opportunities. Many of our members, especially those that are very, very sophisticated, have worked with their vendors early on and made sure that they're getting these products into their stores. And I would also emphasize to folks, if they haven't already really done their Christmas ordering or talked to their vendors and gotten some plans in place for Halloween sales opportunities and again winter and or Christmas,
Uh-huh.
once again, they're going to be behind the eight ball. I do believe, as I said on prior videos and some blogs, I think this phenomenon with RVs, moto coaches, and fifth wheels and so forth is going to go on for a long period of time. I don't think it's going to just disappear, at
Uh,
least in the foreseeable future. So, time is now to plan for that type of customer. So, other summer items is, cases of Gatorade, gallons of water. You don't really have to be sophisticated, making sure you have proper windshield fluids available. Just be cognizant of, what folks are looking for. The trends with teas and isotonics and waters with electrolytes, vitamin C, those types of things that are, popping off the shelf from the grocery stores shouldn't be any different than what's being offered in our stores. Again, as we've always saying, knowing your customer, just by putting out t-shirts doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have great sales with that.
yeah.
Who is your customer? Do you have RV customers? Do you have buses? Is it primarily professional drivers? Do you have shorts? Do you have flip-flops? Huge sales opportunities for us. Shower shoes. Do you have, cut off pocket tees? Do you have pocket tees? That type of stuff, I think you need to have in abundance. And on the food side, fruits, vegetables, the summer types of fresh food offerings that folks like to enjoy, during the summer.
Okay. What about for the fall, though? Is there anything specific they should be ordering now for the fall? And I know you mentioned the holidays too. Um,
Yeah, so I think travel centers that get into the apparel business
yeah.
are very smart. Managing the apparel business is challenging. There's no doubt about it. Do it properly, to
Yeah.
have proper markdown cadences and so forth. But I do think you have to have a fall and a winter program. So do you have? I'm not saying you have to have thousands of different types, but do you have some pullovers? Do you have some vests of some sort for the fall? And then do you have a winter program, and that doesn't just mean, caps and winter gloves. Do you have regular driving gloves? Do you have winter driving gloves? Do you have scarves for the male and female? And do you have some jackets to
Okay.
sell? Again, if these RV folks are going to be out on the road, as we understand that's going to be, the motor coaches and the fifth wheels, I think you have to be cognizant of that and think about what are some of their needs as well, and what are those types of products you could be selling. And then don't forget Christmas. A lot of times I'm shocked how many of our members forget Christmas. They don't think that Christmas is an opportunity. They'll have some Cadbury eggs or
Right.
something goofy like that for Christmas, maybe a couple Santa Clauses and snowmen. but there's such a great opportunity to sell toys and that you see every day where, people on the road don't have the opportunity to get to a Walmart, or maybe, maybe less because they can order it online, but
Right.
still there's opportunity for people that are driving, specifically unique gifts or toys for your area. RC vehicles, big trucks are always really popular. We have members that sell countless hundreds, if not thousands, of die-cast trucks. There's an opportunity with Hot Wheels or Matchbox or, those types of companies maybe to bring in die-cast tanks, who knows, die-cast airplanes, stocking stuffers for the kids and so forth. Maybe the kids don't play with them anymore because they're too busy with their video games, but why not bring in video games as stocking stuffers? So again, I'd strongly suggest look at what retailers are doing, get online, type some stuff in. What are some of the toy trends? What are some of the clothing trends for fall and winter?
Yeah.
And I would look to try to match that. And most importantly, get with your vendors now. Don't wait for them.
Right.
I mean, they want to bring in product that sells. They don't want to just sell you stuff. So work with your vendors, whether you're a one-store operator or a multi-store operator. Get with the vendors and create a plan. That includes beer, beer and soda. Ginger ale, 7-Up are much popular in November and December and January, as an example, as people are throwing parties. Maybe they won't be doing that as much this year, but it's the same thought process.
If you want to have something in for Christmas, like tell me the cadence. When do you order it, and when do you recommend they have it in?
So for myself in the past, I'm thinking that the product is arriving in your vendors' warehouses sometime in September, if you're working in conjunction with them, and they're shipping it out to your store late October, maybe into November.
Okay.
Right, Wrong, or Indifferent, as we know, our favorite stores, we start hitting them in late September, October, November, and we're already beginning to see an inkling of winter and Christmas programs.
I was just talking to someone the other day who was joking that they're going to start ordering their Christmas gifts now because the supply chain is so slow right now. So I'm sure.
I think that's a great point. I mean, right, wrong, or indifferent, what's going on with China and the United States, that's impacting supply.
Yeah.
And as we know, a lot of toys, specifically toys and so forth, do come from China.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we have the issues of what's happening with COVID-19. So if any year mandated it, it would be this year to be proactive and get the stuff in early.
But is there,
again, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I just would imagine that there's a fear of over ordering, a little uncertainty of who's going to be coming and how many,
Yeah, and I think that's really wise. So I think if you stay away from the Christmassy types of products, I think you're going to be in good shape. So for example, if you go out and you order a lot of Christmas sweaters, you might be in for a problem. But if you just go out and order some sweaters and pullovers and some fleece, that'll carry you later in the year. And remember, like this year, we had snow in a lot of places in February and April. It was quite cold. And a lot of our members were reporting, wow, this has been a great year for apparel because I was able to sell it for a much longer period. So again, we're not futurists. We don't know for sure. But if you stay with the fundamentals and you stay with the basics, I think you're going to be fine. And again, summer, shorts. There's people that wear shorts. I'm one of them almost all year long. A lot of folks enjoy wearing shorts, especially if you're in hot areas like El Paso. So if you buy shorts, you're probably okay. Pocket tees, again, like I said, fleece, those types of things, whether it be winter or summer, I think you're going to be protected.
Okay. What about if people have a lot of unproductive inventory right now? Any recommendations on that?
Yeah, get it out quickly, because we've already been hearing from members as well as being, reading in the news that folks are pivoting very, very quickly when it comes to their current inventory. Specifically, products that they used to sell a lot of are no longer selling for whatever reason, and they're moving quickly to what's selling. I would strongly suggest for our retailers to do that. And I understand there's a hope that everything comes back to quote unquote normal. But as I've said on other things, I think expectations are being reset, and with those expectations are going to come, demands on our members. So I would get with your vendors, the beer vendors, the soda vendors, the chip vendors, McLean, DAS, Linco, Highway, whoever your vendor of choice preferred vendor is, Cormark, and sit down with them now and start really analyzing what do you currently have in your locations that's not productive. Some of us don't have fancy systems. Some of us still use bill-to books, but it doesn't matter. Get with the vendor, look at the sales, look at the purchases as well, which are actually moving through your registers. So maybe you don't have good scan data, but you can demand from the vendors, what am I also buying? Not what you're selling me, but what
Okay.
also I'm buying that's on a regular basis, and make some decisions on that. A lot of folks are already telling me, I think we briefly mentioned this last time, is they're moving to larger size products. They're realizing they don't need to carry small planters, as an example, or they don't need to carry the planters and the Frito-Lay. So they're eliminating the Frito-Lay peanuts and just carrying the planters peanuts, but they're raising the size. They're not carrying the 2 for $1 anymore, because they're realizing that's taking up valuable space and they're just not selling as much. People are, kind of maximizing the length of their vehicles that they can drive in. Hearing, feedback from, even within my family, folks are driving as far as they can before they have to use the restroom or before they have to fuel. So that's just, one sampling, but it seems to make great sense to me. And a nephew of mine recently went down to Galveston from Dallas, and they didn't stop a single time. Just one example. So if they're coming into your stores, maximize that stop, and they're looking to maximize that stop as well.
Okay. And then lastly, I just wanted to talk about supply chain. What do you think? What issues are going to impact the industry?
The supply chain issues?
Yeah.
Yeah, so similar to what we just briefly talked about, I think it's going to continue for a period of time. We're already seeing that in grocery stores. I do think there's an opportunity for travel centers to kind of fill in some of those voids.
Right.
I'm not saying that we have to be full of toilet paper or full of gallon waters, but I do think in some areas where travel centers are kind of the hub of the community,
Yeah.
there is an opportunity to look at the product mix and change some of that up,
Yeah.
and kind of help, relieve some of the stress that the grocery stores are feeling. And in some cases, you can't get hand sanitizer, whether you're a grocery store or whether you're a truck stop. But in those areas where you can, I think there's opportunities there. But I do think the supply chain will be stretched for a period of time, especially if we have to go back into a more lockdown type. We're noticing that here in El Paso, that a lot of the products that were full just a few weeks ago in the store are beginning to get very, very light. And so that shows how people are buying and maybe stretch on the supply chain. And for their products as well. So again, we talked about, if you want to have Christmas clothing, winter clothing and Christmas toys in your store, you better be having that conversation now with the vendors and helping them get those orders placed prior to trying to, make a phone call on the 15th of November saying, hey, I need Power Service, or I need Lucas, or I need Howe's additives for, or I need, gloves and hats. I think you're just going to be at the back end of, what's available to you.
Too late. Absolutely. All right. Well, thanks, Darren.
You're welcome, Amy. Have a great day.